Well, my father was the one who motivated me to go to law school and to be a lawyer. He used to joke about it when I was little. Um, and eventually, that's what gave me the confidence and the courage to pursue it. I'm not sure if I didn't have someone believing in me that it would have even occurred to me, because there were no lawyers in my family, no one that we knew that was in that profession. And so I credit him with planting the seed to encourage me to go to law school and to continue with it, because it was difficult. And he always had faith in me, and his confidence is really what got me through.
Well, that answers two questions. uh,
We are Cuban. From my parents both are Cuban. My family is from Spain originally. My grandfather on my mother's side came here from the Canary Islands. Came to Cuba from the Canary Islands. But both my parents are Cuban descent. I was born in America, though, so I'm a Cuban American. So I never thought about being a judge. It's not something that I ever dreamed of or aspired to. That really seemed other people's dreams, like, other families. But I was encouraged. I was reached out to by people in the community that thought I had what it took to be a judge. And in all honesty, I credit my husband and his support with being 100% behind me, saying, yes, you should do this. You have what it takes. And that inspiration from other people is what really planted the seed to pursue it from the get-go. But the motivation to actually do it, to run a campaign, to put yourself out there, really came from my experience being an attorney in the courtroom day in and day out for 20 years, and seeing what it takes to be a good judge, feeling that I had something to contribute that others didn't. I had a long history in mental health and special needs, and I really felt that that was underrepresented in our judiciary, and I wanted to bring that experience to the bench because I saw so many special needs and mental health consumers being involved in our court system, and so many people do not understand the challenges that that population faces. And I felt that it was important to have someone in the judiciary that really understood it and could really be sympathetic and hopefully helpful to our community in that respect. Being a judge to me is a solemn responsibility, both to my community and to the judiciary itself. When you take this job, you realize that it's not about you, it's about what you represent. And I want to be there for our community to make our community better where I can, safer, more productive, help people find a better path if they're in front of me to change their behavior so that they don't come back before the court or make the same mistakes. But also in the perception of our judiciary as a whole, a fair and independent judiciary is crucial to our democracy. And I want to do everything I can to make sure that that perception is maintained. And a lot of that includes, I think, the diversity. It's important for inclusion in our judiciary so that the populace feels that they're represented, that they're being heard, that they're not discriminated against. And it's all tied together. So being of Hispanic descent, I think, helps in that. And I also feel that, every day, letting people be heard, having their day in court, having some patience. And, it's not always easy, but it's important. And hopefully, I try every day to do the best that I can to represent my community with pride. My favorite part of being a judge is when I'm successful in helping someone. You know, uh, I love the people. I love county court because it is the people's court. I love hearing their stories. I love the access that a county court judge, we have a lot more freedom to flexibility. It's not so rigid like, circuit court. And I love making a difference in people's lives where you can. People come back with thank you letters. Oh, you've changed my life for the better. Or thank you, judge, for being so patient with me. I finally have my license after 17 years. Those moments make it worthwhile when you know you've made a difference for the betterment of both that individual, but also in our community. And that is satisfying in and of itself. I don't have any one particular fond moment. I mean, I love when the children come and they being able to explain to them about the court system because they're so ignorant of it. But I also, it's just every day. It's every day. I enjoy people, and I like interacting with them every day. So I like going to work every day, and I like hearing your story and what your dilemma is, and hopefully you'll find a better way. And I've helped in some way in guiding you in that direction. It's not my job to make the decision for you, but it's my job to give you the options that are available to you, and hopefully you'll choose the best one for yourself. Ideally, our judiciary would be a reflection of the diversity in our community. We're not there yet. That is a goal that we can strive for. But it's not just about Hispanics being on the bench, it's about all ethnicities. It's important that we encourage other Hispanics to choose to go out there and maybe seek to become it, but also every other ethnicity, we have to also include them and encourage them to participate because we help each other when we all are in it together. By my example, I think it's very important. Someone came out and reached out to me and thought I would be good addition to the judiciary. And I think likewise, as judges, it's imperative that we get out into the community, that we interact with the lawyers, and we encourage them. When we see someone who is particularly bright, who has what it takes, we should encourage them to think about the possibility of maybe you should think about this for your future. Because again, they may not have thought about that for themselves, but we're in a position to see who has the right stuff and maybe give them that little encouragement that they need to pursue something that they never occurred to them. The number one thing I would encourage law students to do, and young lawyers when I used to see them come, is to be involved, to volunteer, both in the community but also within the legal profession, in the bar associations, not just your own ethnicity, but beyond that, whether it's the General Broward County Bar Association or the women or the Puerto Rican or the Cuban or whatever it is, but to be as involved as possible. We underestimate the power of networking. And that really is important in getting out there and inspiring you to be more than you thought you could be by watching the example of others that came before you and by others also encouraging you to do more than you thought you could do.